Hello, everyone. This week, I continue my trip journal. Moab, for me, was a life-anchoring experience. Indeed, it was the one city in Utah I wanted to visit the most. So, as the car traveled down the rural road into town, I could feel the energy of the landscape recharging my spirit. Awesomeness became my go-to exclamation as each bend in the road added more spectacular vistas. First stop, Arches National Park. To view the entire vlog, feel free to visit arialanatole.com by clicking on the link in my bio. After Sandy, I was definitely in the mood to do some hiking. Rolling into town late in the afternoon, headed directly to Arches National Park. Choosing Devil's Garden Trailhead. The park was undergoing some road improvements, so it was going to close early that evening. So I chose to jog the trail. Something about Moab had me at the start throwing myself into Mother Nature's embrace. Soon I was sweaty and happier than I had been in months. The trail becomes difficult after the first 2 miles. Wearing the wrong gear, I had an amazing adventure, slipping and falling through the park. And next chapter, the lazy lizard. No formal host on this leg of the journey, instead chose to stay in a cabin at the Lazy Lizard Hostel. It was well after dark as I pulled in, and must admit without Google, I would never have found the place. Which was everything this socialist could ever have imagined. Immediately greeted by an open crowd of locals and travelers like myself. The hostel is old, clean, and well managed. My cabin was an oasis. Quiet and extremely comfortable. Folks, every single one of them were truly genuine. First night, I provided a growler of IPA from Moab Brewery and a pack of yellow American spirits to share. Next chapter, my brand of socialism. See, socialism is not just a political stance for myself. Instead, it's a conscious effort to share with those around me, to provide a means for great conversation and the bringing together of different folks. Often, beer, cigarettes, and food are the best methods to practice this. Lazy Lizard filled with folks that are also believe in sharing. Well, see, I felt like home. That first evening's discussion ran from gender norms, hiking, even politics. Different views, yet no arguments. Spoke with folks from all over this beautiful nation and around the world. Me, the freak, felt welcome and, funny enough, normal. Next chapter, Canyonlands. That night, I was given many fun things to do, deciding on Canyonlands National Park. After Arches, I was unprepared for the pure awesomeness I was about to experience. This trail took me all day. A slower pace was set, with plenty of moments to simply take in the view. Out here, I found an internal peace that bound my spirit to the land, recharged my depleted batteries, and left me with plenty of positive energy to share. Hard to imagine that in the not-so-distant past, natives to this land carved the very trails I hiked, that settlers attempted to tame this amazingly dynamic and forbidding landscape. Next chapter, the sun goes down. So I thoroughly enjoy beer. Moab Brewery may have been my third stop rolling into town, yet I quickly became a regular during my stay. They had a special on burgers that first evening, and the brewery was packed. I enjoyed the beer and had the pleasure of sharing a bar's table with a horseback tour guide, right? Johnny's American IPA in the can became the fuel for my nights in Moab. A well-crafted IPA that definitely helped me recover from all the outdoor activities. Thank you, Moab Brewery, for welcoming this traveler into your establishment, for providing amazing service, decent food, and awesome beer. Next chapter, travel. After Canyonlands, I spent the night talking rock climbing, a sport I flirted with in college. The passion of these climbers around me was contagious. Became very curious about something they called crack climbing. Planned to leave my original plan was to leave the next morning, right? But instead, I found myself asking the lazy lizard for another night. While traveling, it is always my goal to be as free-spirited as possible, often following instincts instead of pre-planned adventure, allowing each moment to take me, to go with the flow, as folks say. Thanks again, everyone, for viewing these. I sincerely appreciate it. Next week, more about crack climbing at Moab. Continue to be awesome.